gosh, on fire. This story is a follow-on from the previous story of the Black Triangle. A different fellow and different area altogether, and quite some years later. This was 2000, and that other one was middle of 1980s. Early 80s, 82, I think, 3. Bit told me, but anyway, this one's 2000, and it was seen by 2 people, and it was. If you look on the map between Isle of Withon, I'll call it Withon, Isle of Withon to Withon, it's about 2 mile, 3 mile, but there's 2 ways to get from the Isle to Withon, one round and one across the coastal road, and it's the coastal road one. If you go up there, there's one house, and it used to be a doctor's house where I used to live. And that's it. Just if you Google it somehow, and you'll see the doctor's house, the stone house, and you'll see a path going along the house to like a little little estuary thing where see, river comes out. It doesn't look that way, but pipes used to go out, old sewage pipes, and chuck it into the sea, and that's why you get a lot of pollock fish around there, and that's why these 2 fellas went there, because there were lots of pollock. Just chuck the line in, okay, pollock, and that was it. It was really easy, and that was it. So they went up there, these 2 fellas, on a summer's day, right? On a summer's day, but in them days they need to have cameras on their phones. Had the phone but no camera, and who takes a camera around with them? You don't expect to go and see something, do we? No. But anyway, so there are no phones, and all they had was themselves. No beer, so it wasn't beer talking. And they got there. This, like I say, this was between Isle of Withon to Withon in Scotland. A long way from Nottinghamshire, from what I told last time. So, but this is about a black triangle craft, similar sort of same dimensions what my old friend described. Anyway, as they were fishing, these 2 fellas, putting the rod into the sea and bringing up the pollock, it was summer day, beautiful summer's day, blue sky. Absolutely blue, no sky, no cloud in the sky, no, it fell off. No cloud in the sky, no, nothing like that. Just blue sky, and it was beautiful. And they were there looking down, just fishing like that. Wasn't really fishing, you're putting the rod in and coming straight out. Really easy. And anyway, they were there, literally only there for 15, 20 minutes, wasn't there long, and instantly, without any murmur, just like the last one described to me, it didn't make no noise. This one didn't make no noise, not a single murmur, and there was no sign of it coming over. As you would think, you see an aircraft, you see it back your eye, wouldn't you? You say, "Oh, what's that going over?" None of that, which is unusual. And we've been a blue sky, you think you should see something. It was just there, and it stopped above them, just like that. Literally 300 feet maximum, 300 feet above their heads, and that's all. It just stopped there. It didn't move. And they looked at it for hours, literally hours. I've never heard anybody describe they've seen one for hours, but these 2 fellas saw it for hours and hours, and they'd better look than anybody I've ever heard. And they described 150 feet in that direction. Not sure about the back direction, but at least 150 feet, probably in, like that. Similar sort of range everywhere, probably. What I can understand. But they described being black, and the sides, which is unusual because they had a good look at everything, stared at it until their neck ached. As you imagine the sides when you look underneath, they describe it as in about a foot indentation coming at a slight angle, going all the way underneath like that, just a little bit. And underneath, they describe it as being black. You hardly see anything. But what they described it as, which caught them out, you think it'd be a spacecraft or something, it'd be nice and smooth and flat, but they didn't. It was at like what they described as black girders, black tubular girders going, and it wasn't in a organised fashion. It's sort of going one that way and one this way. It wasn't going in regular what you'd expect if it's some sort of engineered thing. It was like one going that way and a big girder going this way, and you can see underneath there are smaller black girders, but no wheels. There was nowhere to put a wheel or for anywhere for the wheels to come down or anything for it to stand on. There was nothing. So literally nothing at all. But it was totally black under there. No lights. And you often see they've got little black lights underneath and little blue and red flashy things going away. None whatsoever. And it never made a murmur. Didn't make any magnetic or frequency. None of the air stood up. Didn't have headaches. No static involved. No nothing. Do anything. If it obviously had a propulsion, but propulsion I've never ever come across. No, I can't begin to explain this one, but it literally nothing, didn't make a single noise, no flashy lights, nothing glamorous, and no little green men came out, nothing. It 150 feet in every direction, and it like I say, they describe it as right round underneath. They had like a little slope, about a foot under the craft, going so like that, and what they describe as black girder tubes going sort of all the way, and then small ones just above it. Beyond that, they couldn't see because they're totally black. Even though it was blue sky, it was still the whole thing was black. Why it's black, I have no idea. I presume it had something to do with the propulsion, something to do with something. Why would you paint it black? You wouldn't, would you? Really? You do it something camouflaging with the sky or something. There's some reason why it's black, anyway. But again, I have no ideas why. Maybe somebody just like black. Johnny Cash. I don't know. But anyway, the thing is, not a single noise, no murmurs, no nothing. And it basically stopped there for hours. And I mean hours, about 5 hours. It wasn't just an hour, about 5 hours. And it stopped there that long, they wondered if it broken down. They wouldn't call AA. But listen, seriously, they were that long, they got fed up looking at it. And they're still fishing. And one of the chaps, I can't mention the names, but if he actually does contact me and says, yeah, I'll give you his name, but names. But it's basically start to move, but very, very slowly. And I mean, I don't mean just so it went like 20, 30 miles per hour. It went slower than walking pace. It was they were right at the end of a bank, so they're still on land, fishing with the rod. The doctor's house behind him, and that craft above their heads. About, they reckon it was twice the height to the length, so 150 feet length, and that was 300 feet. So that's what they both estimating. So probably about right, and it just went slower than walking pace. So it got to the end of this where it landed over this beautiful sea. That's the Solway, Firth. And so it went over the Solway Firth, just like that, and then just slowly, and time it took so long. Time then about 7 hours and them looking at it. And at the time then, it was just getting dusk. As it was just getting, that's how long this thing's been there. It's been there that long. And as it just went out about, I think it was about so many hundred yards, they described, and then it was really dusk. And then suddenly, boom, it cleared the Solway Firth. And Solway Firth is quite a big, long bay, huge. It's, I don't know how long it is, but it's quite big. But it cleared it. It went, and it had gone. It was not. It's like that. So 1 minute it was like above the heads for 5 hours and 3 or 4 hours didn't move. Then slowly it took hours for just to go over the edge up to the sea, then over the sea. And then when it got to about say 800 yards, 1,000 yards, then it just got a little bit faster. Then it gone, cleared it off Solway Firth in just nothing less than a second. Yeah. So there's two guys that have incredibly good look at it. They had no sound, no waves giving off, no frequencies, no nothing, no static. Didn't make them ill. Nobody jumped out and said little green men. No nothing. They have no ideas that were UFO, MOD project. Nothing. They have no ideas of it whatsoever. Only thing with it is that. I used to have a drink, and somebody I know, top end, late on the year, in winter, he used to lose his frequencies on his TV, but that could be, whether that's related to that, I have no idea. It's probably just mention it, but yeah, it's a beautiful area to go as well. Really, yeah, good for fishing, but it is beautiful. I've been up there myself and I had a look, and it is very nice. But if you know anything about this, or if you want to, if the guy does actually say, yeah, I'll put my name down, I'll put his name down. But lovely story, and two witnesses, and it's but didn't get no photos. One we're going to go back and get his camera. The other one said, no, don't do that, because time you do, it's going to be gone. So he said, sure. He said, yeah, let's just leave it. Let's just have a look at it. And they did. So they never got a single photo. So it's just a word of mouth, but 100% true. You know, it's one of those things. It sounds unbelievable. A big black triangle for 5 hours above your head, 300 feet. So yeah, but it actually happened. Yeah. But whether it's a UFO, I'm still not convinced. Maybe man-made. I don't know, but very cleverly man-made, I have to say, because it was certainly fast. But why black? I mean, the shape is one thing, but if somebody got any idea why they paint these things black, please let me know, because I ain't got a faintest. I really would like to know. But again, there's no flashy lights on it. Again, sorry about this. And it was there, yeah. But I put it down as a UFO because nobody seems to know what it is. I'm sure somebody does. Somebody much smarter than me probably put it together. Probably. I bet somebody say, "Oh yeah, I made that one last week." Yeah, but to me, it's a UFO because I don't know what it is. But I hope you enjoyed it. It's actually what happens. It's nice to know there is things out there, and it's nice to know they're not all, I think, little green men stories. We have lots of incredible, clever people on this planet. I'm sure some of them put things like this together. Anyway, God bless.